Hey, this is Dr. Scott. I am taking the Gen Channel on the road to the beautiful California History Center on the campus of Anza College to learn more about how to apply for a Fulbright. And yes, I'm interested too, but any California faculty member and even staff members and admins are eligible for this program. So we're gonna take the day to find out more about this from the source.
You all know the History Center. I want to tell you how excited I am to introduce to you Keegan Scott from Washington, D.C., that he's an outreach and recruitment officer with Fulbright U.S. Scholar Program. And as a Fulbright U.S. student alumni to Bulgaria in 2017 to 2020.
That's correct, yes.
Also a former Education USA Turkey intern. And according to my sources, he's passionate about international exchange in education. You might also be interested to hear that he holds an MA in Eurasian, Russian, and East European Studies with a Diplomatic Studies certificate from Georgetown University. And, not surprisingly, he speaks Bulgarian and Turkish, as well as English.
Yes.
So, thank you.
Sometimes. So just to give you an overview of what to expect today, we're going to talk about, of course, the Fulbright program writ large, what is Fulbright and why you should consider it. I'll talk specifically about opportunities for U.S. citizens going abroad, mentioning the Fulbright Scholar Program, as well as the International Education Administrator Awards. I'll then get into the Visiting Scholars Program. So these are opportunities to host visiting scholars here in your departments and here on your campus. I'll speak about the Scholar in Residence Program, the Outreach Lecturing Fund, and of course the Visiting Scholar Program writ large. There will be time for Q&A at the end. Fulbright really is an umbrella term to describe a lot of different pieces of the program. So at its core, the Fulbright mission is to exchange, to be a mode of exchanging culture, and to connecting people and to connect nations. Fulbright is within 160 countries worldwide. The Fulbright Scholar Program has 135 countries specifically. And in short, Fulbright is actually a four-way binational agreement. So US scholars and US students go abroad, and visiting scholars and foreign students come here. So Fulbright's, when someone says to me, "Oh, Keegan, I'm a Fulbrighter," I will always say, "Which kind?" Which Fulbright? Just to clarify, because of course there are so many. The Fulbright program is sponsored by the U.S. State Department and is administered by the Institute of International Education, which my colleagues and myself work at. Of course, as a part of our mission to connect people and to connect nations, we want a representative body of the American populace going abroad. So with that, the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs at the U.S. State Department hold at its core belief that public diplomacy is best placed and best informed with different opinions, different thought processes, different people, different identities, and so on. So as you can see here, ECA is committed to addressing barriers based on race, ethnicity, color, age, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, expression, religion, geographic location, education, income, socioeconomic status, and beyond. So we really want to see a well-rounded group of people become Fulbrighters. A question I frequently get from community college faculty and administrators say, "Okay, am I eligible? I don't think this is for me." And I always say, yes, this is for you, right? This program, the Fulbright Scholar Program, is for you. As fundamentally, you have the degree requirements, you meet the eligibility, and you can do these projects. You can teach, you can do research, you can conduct a professional project abroad. So we always say that Fulbright is elite, but not elitist. So that's something that we always want to keep in mind going forward. So for locally serving institutions, this is an opportunity to internationalize your campus. This is an opportunity to internationalize your classroom. Not only if you do a project abroad, you can bring that information back and you can disseminate that through a myriad of ways, but also hosting, right? You can host a visiting scholar. There are ways that foreign students can be here to teach languages in area studies departments and English departments and other aspects. So really, this is a really great way to bring the world to, again, this beautiful campus. Often we've learned that faculty programs lead to student participation in international programs. So fundamentally, as I noted, the Fulbright program is a four-way exchange. And so these opportunities do allow for, of course, students to participate. Now the one thing is, for the Fulbright student program, you do have to have a bachelor's degree at the time of application. But that being said, with a lot of community college, you can still tap students on the shoulder and say, hey, have you thought about Fulbrights, knowing that you are going to perhaps continue on to another degree? So this is certainly an opportunity for them, just as it is for you all. So that's something to keep in mind. Of course, and funding. Now this is really important. So the Fulbright's US Scholar Program, which is again the opportunities for faculty to go abroad and to do projects, this is fully funded in the sense that the State Department does provide the funding for you to do, to have that in-country experience. Now, do we pay for the research? Some grants do have a little bit of extra money for that, but for the most part, you can combine other grants in those regards. But by all means, we cover the plane ticket, a monthly stipend. We have accident and emergency sickness insurance as well, and sometimes we have different allowances for dependents. About 60% of the opportunities in the Fulbright Scholar Program do allow dependent allowances, so you can bring family along as well as children, spouses, and so on. So this is really a great way to not only bring that international perspective to your students, but also to your own family members, and that's certainly a very impactful experience for all. And similarly, when it comes to funding, we also provide what I'd like to say nearly fully funded opportunities to host visiting scholars and foreign students. So I'm going to say more about that later. But again, the point of this is we want to make sure that everyone from all backgrounds can participate. So I know that a lot of folks, when I speak about Fulbright, say, okay, how much does this cost? What does this look like? We do our best to say zero. We really try to make it work for you, and so that we have a conversation about what that can look like and what that ultimately looks like for you and your institution. But of course, and this is really important, is to show off your institution's expertise to a more global audience. So something that we've created and will be creating in the next cycle, the 2025-2026 academic year, is we're creating a community college filter. So I've had a lot of folks come to me saying, Keegan, Fulbright's not for me. And I'm always saying, au contraire, it is. And so a lot of our partners abroad are realizing, of course, the valuable expertise that community college faculty and administrators have, especially as educators, as teachers. Certainly I'm sure many of you have stories of the many classes you teach and what exactly you do on a day-to-day basis. And these partners abroad are, 135 countries worldwide. They want this. They want that expertise, and they want that experience in their own classrooms. So that's something that they are, recognizing. This past year, we had, in particular, 65 awards specifically mentioning that they are interested in hosting community college faculty. Now, 65 doesn't sound like a lot. We do have about 400 awards total, but I do want to emphasize that this is certainly a group that we want to be participating in our awards. Now, does it help that Chesa did a lot of trailblazing? Maybe. Yes, and others. But again, community colleges are valuable to the experience, and we want to make sure that everyone is a part of the Fulbright experience. So I do have a few flyers for community for Fulbright US students. Are you students here? Yeah, great. I apologize that this was mostly a faculty-heavy webinar, but I want to give this to you all to talk to you a little bit more.
So fascinating.
Yes. So in short, if you have a bachelor's degree, you can then apply. So if you intend on getting or even, I don't know if Anza is a...
Sometimes we have re-entry students.
Oh yeah, okay. So in short, as long as you have a bachelor's degree at the time of application, or even at the time of your grant experience, you can do it. So the Fulbright student, and you can share this information with your students as well, because it's a really great opportunity to do different projects. You can either do research or study abroad. So if you have, if you want to go to, after you graduate, you're like, I want to do, a year studying in Argentina. That's possible. We can provide funding for that, and we can provide tuition assistance to, do that in-country experience. But we do also have a really large program called the English Teachingship Assistance Program. That's what I did. So when I graduated from my institution, I was in Bulgaria teaching English there. And so that's a really great way if you're really not sure. A lot of students like to apply for the ETA-ship, even if they have some experience, perhaps like tutoring, or even like if you work, have a club, like I don't know, if you worked with some sort of organization, I mean that's helpful. Your work experience is really helpful in that regards too. It just depends on what you want to do. But in short, the answer is yes. You can certainly apply for the Fulbright US Student Program. We encourage the deadline follows this, very similar to the Scholar program, where you would start applying the year before you go. So, for example, the program will open up probably in March of next year for the 2025-2026 year. So that's when you would be going on your experience. And these experiences are also similar in length. Generally, they are an entire academic year, generally 10 months. It's again fully funded in the sense that we provide airfare, living allowance, housing stipend. There's an insurance, ASPE insurance for emergency and health, or emergency and sickness. We also provide allowances for language learning. So if you want to do some language learning, that's a really great way too. I can talk to you more about it after this, but yes, there's certainly there's opportunities for students to go abroad too.
So I was complimenting Keenan on the quality outreach to community college faculty,
Yes,
staff,
certainly.
admins, and students, right? I mean, who are on their way to getting a BA, and we do have a lot of returning students, right? So some of them already
Certainly.
have a BA. So thank you again.